If you have been saved and you've given your life to Christ, you really have more power than what you think you do in impossible situations. I want to show you how you do and where you can find proof that God is giving you that power. But before I do that, I want to share like this quick dream with you. And sometimes God will give us or allow us to have spiritual warfare dreams to prepare us for what's about to happen in the natural. You know, that's his way of sometimes giving us a plan for the warfare that we're about to experience. That's why we should always take our dreams seriously and analyze them and pray on them, because he's just that type of God. He's a warring God, and he sends us into the war room sometimes in our dreams to show us how to handle things. So in this particular dream, I was in my military uniform, and I knew that I was being sent into this small house. And my way that I was supposed to go into the house was through the back. So I opened the back door of this little small house, and I knew I was going in there to get someone. I just didn't know who. And this little small house was made of, it was kind of made like a maze. And I had these eyes. It was almost like putting on a pair of those goggles where you can actually see the infrared goggles, but my eyes were like that. So I can actually see through the walls of the house, not particularly in the next room, but see what was inside the walls. So as I looked at the walls, you wouldn't believe what was inside the walls. It was inundated, just full of snakes, all different color snakes. They were red, white. There were some multicolored snakes. They were all like entangled on each other, and they were quiet. They weren't moving, but they were alive, and they were watching me. I don't know if they knew I could see them, but I could see them, and they were watching me. So I'm saying to myself, wow, this is an impossible situation. And if I don't make the right move in here, I'm going to die right here in this house. So I'm going through the house very carefully. I remember going into this little tiny bathroom. I remember seeing this big green snake. It was kind of like laying like over the mirror in the bathroom. And I just stepped out and I kept walking because I knew I was looking for somebody. I made it to the front of the tiny house, expecting to walk into the living room because that was the front of the house. But when I get there, the living room had been converted into a big like bedroom. It was still a small house. And inside that bedroom was this huge bed. And I had just enough room to get in there. But in the bed was the person that I was looking for. And this person I knew in real life. So it was a young man that I knew that I was ministering to in real life. And the crazy thing about it was there was a anaconda snake wrapped around him. And they were just rolling in the bed. And he was laughing. And I called his name out. And he looked at me and he had a smile on his face. And I said, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I like it here. We're just playing. We're just having fun." And I remember hitting my head and I said, "Fight." And then he rolled again, playing. The snake wouldn't look at me. And then again, I said, "Fight." And the second time that I said fight, when he rolled again, his face turned into another young man that I was ministering to. And I was shocked. So I said, "Fight." again, and this time it felt like when I said fight, like the whole house had broke down. But I knew those snakes were watching me. And the third time that I said fight, I woke up from the dream. And I share this dream with you to let you know about impossible situations. That your situation is actually watching you. Your situation isn't dictated by the circumstances of it. It's dictated by how you respond to it, especially if you have received Jesus as your Lord and Savior. Because Jesus says in Luke chapter 10, verse 19, that I have given you authority to trample on snakes and serpents and to overcome all the powers of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. Jesus is saying, I have given you the legal rights to command those type of situations. So you're not just walking in with ammunition, guns. You're walking in with the legal rights. It's like you're walking in as a king or as a queen. And when you walk in your impossible situations, knowing that you have the legal rights to overthrow that situation, it changes the whole aspect of things. Because with your legal right comes the power. God is coming. He's coming with his power to tear that thing down. But you have to know that you have the authority and the power. Because I tell you what, in that dream, if I didn't come in there with power and authority, I was not going to make it out alive. That was going to be it for me. But you have to know that you have the power and authority.